Hey, everybody, checking out the Mike and JD Show YouTube channel. Thank you for watching this video. If you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button, make sure you're a subscriber, and also comment on this video and help us defeat the algorithm. I would greatly appreciate it. And while you're at it, if you like this video, head over to patreon.com/the Mike and JD Show and become a Patreon subscriber today, where you will get this audio immediately as soon as it's done recorded, way ahead of everybody else. And then, of course, it will be ad free. Thank you very much. Now enjoy the video. Let's go ahead and get into the Impact TV show. And I gotta be honest, I I was hoping for some more fun news to talk about. I wanted to really talk more about the news as opposed to the actual TV show, because I don't know what was going on with this TV show. I don't know what's going on with this Memphis crowd. And this crowd is dead. I feel like they're wrestling in a library. Some of the people, like the usuals, they have like their usual like 5 to 10 people. They go to all the shows. They're making noise. They like to be interactive. A couple of those guys are even in the country whipping match, or whatever they call fans revenge match. And so those guys are cool, but man, everybody else was just kind of there. Like, I don't know if they just gave them a bunch of Xannies and said, sit down and fucking enjoy the show, but they can't get these people to say anything. Hold on, swig of coffee for the silent fucking fan. But I thought this episode was brutal, man. They didn't even really have like the awesome match that they typically have. I think they tried to have that at the main event with Big Khan and Josh Alexander, but that match wasn't working for me either. I don't know. I just felt like this was a down episode, one of the worst episodes of the year. The show opened up on BTI. Savannah Evans and Jessica fought. I can't remember who won. I think it was Jessica though. Anyway, that was talking BTI bullshit. So Tasha Steelz in the first match defeated Killer Kelly. So Tasha defeated Killer Kelly. I thought this was funny. She was going to hit her finishing move. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a crucifix bomb. But she botched it and ended up giving herself a Samoan drop. So like the move was actually Killer Kelly giving Tasha Steelz a Samoan drop, because Tasha Steelz couldn't rotate her over and land her on her shoulders like it was what normally supposed to happen. So she ends up giving herself a Samoan drop. Kelly's weight lands all on Tasha Steelz. Kelly sells it as if she's the one that's hurt. Tasha Steelz rolls her up for the victory. So she won with a botched move. And because Deonna Purrazzo and Tasha Steelz have decided to declare themselves as being a tag team, well, now they get a tag team title shot at Bound for Glory, because that's all you need to do in this fucking promotion is tell them that you're a tag team, and now you're a tag team championship contender. So there you go. I did not think this match was all that good. I feel like Tasha's a bit rusty. Her and Kelly did not have any chemistry. And of course, the crowd was dead silent. Backstage, Skylar's meeting up with Savannah Evans and Jai Vidal. Skyle? Who? I don't know. Giselle Shaw offered Evans, Skylar offered Evans a chance to meet up with him against Ace Austin and Chris Bay, but Shaw interrupted, and Shaw made the decision that Jai Vidal will be his tag team. So Skylar had been on Twitter all week doing this gimmick where he's trying to get people to be his tag team partner, and nobody would take him up on it. So Shaw just gave him Jai Vidal because she was pissed at him. This actually was pretty funny, I thought. Gresham was interviewed backstage. Gresham explained his cheating against Mike Bailey was by saying that he wanted to prove the referees and officials were incompetent. Bailey confronted him backstage and asked him what he was doing, but Gresham walked out. Thank God Bailey is a great wrestler, because he's doing nothing right now to get me interested in his match with Ospreay, other than the fact that we all know it's going to be awesome. He didn't appear to be focused on Ospreay. There's no heat. They're not even talking about the Ospreay match. His mind could just be elsewhere. Great job, Impact. Are you even going to have him fucking talk about the match? He's focused on Gresham and getting his tights pulled. That's what he's pissed about. And now he's not focused on the Ospreay match at all. Why should anybody care, other than the fact that we know that it's going to be an awesome match, that there's going to be near falls and some cool moves. That's it. Talk about the fucking match, guys. Come on. It's one of the biggest matches in your company in the last couple of years, and the the guy that on your team isn't even talking about it. Come on, dummies. Fuck. Impact Digital Media Champion Tummy Dreamer came to the ring to cut a promo. And he called out Crazy Steve. Dreamer put over Steve. This is where Dreamer goes into his like emotional soliloquies, talking about the history and trying to get people to cry. Fucking Dreamer, typical Dreamer stuff. He put Steve as the greatest blind wrestler of all time. I don't know if you can get an award for that. Do they have like a PWI 500 for blind wrestlers? I don't know, but I guess Steve is the best of them all. Him and Leroy McGurk maybe, and Stan Hansen. That Dreamer told Steve that he was open to Steve cashing in the feature fired against him. Steve and Dreamer hugged in the center of the ring, but this led to Crazy Steve stabbing Dreamer in the back with a fork. Dreamer was clearly wearing a pad. And you really couldn't see the stabbing motion. They just panned into where the fork was inserted into his shirt, where there was clearly a pad. This was terrible. I put a comment on their Facebook video. I was like, guys, this was one of the worst bits of television I've ever seen. It's like it was just so bad. Like what are we doing? Like I don't know. I think they're gonna do a Monsters Ball probably, or a fork on a pole match. Fuck them. Eric Young and Jordan Grace and Dango and Champagne Singh and Jake Something defeated Mahabali Shira, Kylan King, Jody Threat, Brian Myers, and Bulky Ray. So this match was the winning team will then now go into a 5-way match, I believe. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're going to wrestle next week, and the winner of that will be the last entrant into the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. So we already have some insight as to who's going to be in the Call Your Shot, and Bully Ray's in the Call Your Shot, just like he was last year. I liked this match. Like, it was an okay match. I didn't find it to be all that interesting, but they did some cool stuff, right? I thought Jake Something was rather impressive. I feel like Eric Young is getting lost in the shuffle here. And then like his contract came up at a time where they didn't really have an idea of what they wanted to do with him. And so now he's just, babyface Jones on the card, when really I'd like to see him involved in something. But instead he's doing this horse shit. And same with Jake Something. So hopefully Jake is the winner of the Call Your Shot. That would be cool. But we'll see how all this plays out. I just don't know. But I didn't think that the match was bad. I'm typically not a intergender wrestling fan, but I feel like Impact has found their groove and they do it pretty tastefully. So and I thought that this whole thing was okay. So good for them, I guess. And then Josh Alexander was interviewed backstage by GM Miller. Alexander said that it may not be wise to face Khan before his world title bout at Bound for Glory, but said that he took the match because he had a champion's mentality. Impact World Champion Alex Shelley confronted him backstage, where he stated that he would accompany Alexander to the match to make sure he was 100% for Bound for Glory. And then there was a video package hyping up the Impact Knockouts title bout between Mickie James and Champion Trinity for Bound for Glory 2023. After that video, Trinity was interviewed by Gia, where Trinity stated that she respected Mickie James, but was focused on retaining her title at Bound for Glory. So that was that. Fans Revenge strap match. Guys, I'm going to tell you something, and this is going to shock you. I felt like this was the match of the night. I liked this match. I thought John Skyler and Jai Vidal were pretty funny in the match. I thought I really did enjoy it. And I kind of like the Fans Revenge gimmick. TNA used to do that with Jeff Jarrett, and I thought he always played his part well. And this just seemed like a 1-week gimmick, but for whatever it was, it worked for me. I like just seeing like the heels run outside and then the fans just start whipping the shit out of them. I think one of the fans got a little too greedy, got a little ahead of himself and whipped Jai Vidal right in the face. I like even rewinded it. And I was like, oh wow, he hit that motherfucker in the face. Like, that looked pretty brutal, man. I dug the match. I really did. And this was my match of the night. I think, Skyler, he's like like a sawed off, good brother. You know what I mean? he's probably like when he goes to Luke Gallows' house or Doc Gallows' house, like he's like the butler. He's like their little buddy, and now he's turned that into like a wrestling character. He's like 5'6" and he's got like the beer belly. But I thought he was pretty funny in this. And he's actually kind of a good worker too. So, and then Jai Vidal I think is great, or Jay. I think they call him Jay, but it's spelled Jai. So when I'm reading it, it says Jai to me, but it could be Jay. I think they call him Jay. But yeah, and he's funny too. I thought they were both pretty good in this match. And then there was a video recap highlighting the feud between Frankie and Eddie for their grudge match coming up later. I think it might be next week. It's a best 2 out of 3 falls, and I think they do a different match for each fall. So hopefully that's the big blow off because that feud has gotten stale. Moose with Brian Myers defeated Bhupinder Gujar. Essentially a squash match, but this is Moose's attempt to get back into the singles competition. So he's beating up on some jobbers, and Gujar is a jobber. So that's what he does. He did his job. After the match, Macklin confronted Moose and Myers. Macklin told Moose that the Feast of Fire briefcase that Moose was holding belonged to him, but Moose only had it because Rhino interfered. Macklin then demanded to get the briefcase, but Moose refused and thought this was a trick from Bulky Ray. Macklin denied that because he stated that Bully Ray had gone soft. They're really leaning into this Macklin versus Bully Ray stuff, but it looks like they're going to try to turn Bully Ray heel, and I think it should be Macklin that goes heel, by the way. PCO appeared and attacked Bully Ray and Brian Myers. Macklin made it to the ramp and was caught by Rhino with a gore. It looks like we might be getting something with PCO, Rhino, Macklin, and Myers. Last week we talked about PCO leaving the company. The week before that, he had given his notice. Earlier this week, I think it was yesterday, they put a brand new PCO T-shirt on sale. So they're starting to sell new PCO merchandise. I get the feeling he actually ended up resigning, and that the whole thing was just a leverage move. And then he's been brought back. I don't know this for a fact, by the way. No one's told me this. I don't have those types of scoops, but just that. Or it could be that the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and I think that's very possible too. This company is very, very capable of being incompetent, and a guy that's on his way out, you don't want to just create new merch for him if you don't got any paper on him. So either they're stupid, which is possible. Don't get me wrong, that is possible. I'm not ruling out that possibility. Or they have either agreed to a deal or they've actually signed a new deal. And he's going to be sticking around because there is new PCO merch on Impact Shop. They actually promoted it. He was promoting it. So he may have actually re-signed. So we'll see. And then we get the Rascals. They defaced the Impact tag team titles in front of Santino Marella, but they were interrupted by Ace Austin and Chris Bay. Bay and Austin revealed that they were cashing in their Feast of Fire briefcase to get a shot at the tag titles at Bound for Glory. But Sami Callihan and Rich Swann interrupted to get a shot of their own at the gold. Marella announced that Callihan and Swann would face the Rascals for the tag titles next week, and the winner facing Austin and Bay for gold at Bound for Glory. It's tough to make these matches and to make people care when we already know that Callihan has left the company. He has left the company. He's announced it. He's been all over the internet. He's doing interviews with Fightful. Essentially, he told Fightful that they just couldn't come to a financial deal. I think he wanted more money, and they didn't want to give him the money. I think his goose is cooked in Impact. I think that he was done, and he needs to go away for a while, and then maybe 6 months down the road, they can bring him back. I don't think that we've seen the last of Callihan in Impact, but making this match when we all know that he's not coming back is not going to lead to interest next week in seeing the match because we know what the outcome is already. Now, I get that there's spoilers out there, and I get that the average fan does not read the spoilers, but I think a lot of those people already know that Callahan's gone. It's not like they don't read Fightful, right? Like they know that Callahan's gone. So yeah, I'm not sure why they even did that, but maybe it'll lead to something. I have no idea. X Division champion Chris Sabin cut a promo addressing Kenta ahead of their match for the title of Bound for Glory. Sabin put over Kenta's legendary career ahead of Kenta's challenge, but Sabin promised to retain at Bound for Glory. I think he's going to keep that promise. I don't think he's losing to Kenta. And then we get to the main event. We got Josh Alexander with Alex Shelley defeating Khan. Why is Khan wrestling in the main event on my goddamn television? What are we doing? Why is he in this match? He sucks so bad. He's just this big fat oaf with a dumb haircut and stupid ears, and he sucks. And he came to Impact. He's half-assed his whole life. He's getting by on being big and plotting. And now he's in the main event against Josh Alexander. And Josh Alexander tried to carry this motherfucker to a passable match, to which he did. I just didn't care about it. Neither did the people in the audience because they were silent as hell. You know, after the match, Alex Shelley confronted Alexander after he accidentally. So there was a point in the match where Cody Deaner was cheating, and Shelley went over to go and stop the cheating, and Alexander accidentally hit Shelley. So that's the gimmick, right? That's what we're doing to get interest for Bound for Glory. So after the match, Shelley confronted Alexander for accidentally catching him with a forearm strike. Shelley and Alexander exchanged words until Alexander pushed Shelley, to which Shelley retaliated by hitting the Blade Runner on Alexander. And Shelley sat down with the Impact World title on the bottom rope while staring down Alexander to end the broadcast. I liked this part. So the match, I just didn't find to be interesting. I didn't think it was very good. We all knew the outcome as soon as it was booked. But I like the after stuff because I feel like Alex Shelley is putting on some really great performances. And I could see a heel turn in him, which is why I found the Gresham booking to be interesting, because Gresham's a heel. So I'm just like, oh man, I think you guys are missing it here. I think there's money in Shelley as the heel world champion. But that's just me. And I feel like we're starting to see hints of that here. Shelley is a good heel. He has been a heel in the past, and he's very good at it, but he's never been a top main event heel. So I'd like to see them go with that. You know, it's like get behind somebody, you know, that'd be cool, but we'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, that was the show. I just did not find the show to be all that interesting. Nothing that they did was like anything that anybody needs to go out of the way to see. There was no match there was no match in the show that was like, hey guys, you know, if this gets released on YouTube, you need to go check out this match. They didn't have any of that. And so so this was, it's kind of a thumbs down for me, and it's been the first time that I could say that in a while. I know they're just leading and building to Bound for Glory, but you know, I don't really think, other than the main event angle, that they did a ton to get me interested in what's going on at Bound for Glory. I was already interested, so it's not, you know, they didn't do anything new to sell me. And I think they're dropping the ball here with the Speedball Ospreay thing. Speedball's focus should be on Ospreay and not on his tights getting pulled in the third match of the night on a weekly episode of Impact. I don't find the Gresham Speedball stuff to be interesting at all. The promos are bad. Like Speedball sounds like a weenie, you know? It's like they need to do something to get me focused on Speedball and Ospreay. And really they just haven't. The whole thing on that is that we know it's going to be a good match, and that's it. Can one of Ospreay's minions, you know, like, could they have showed up in Memphis, right? Like, he's got he's got the United Empire. Could we not get somebody from the United Empire to come beat up Ospreay or something? Can we get some video promos from Ospreay? Can we get him up on the video wall? Can we do something? You know, teasing Speedball, talking shit to him, anything like that? No. Speedball's entire focus on this show is fucking Jonathan Gresham, because Jonathan Gresham pulled his tights. Who cares? What a waste. But hey guys, that's gonna do it for me this week. Thank you everybody.